Sami Zayn has officially joined the Bloodline storyline, and they're already teasing a twist, so we'll see what's new there. We'll also check out what's going on with Triple H, Thunder Rosa, and more. Starting things off with this new story of the Triple H WWE video game-related ban. Former WWE superstar Stevie Richards recently made a big reveal about a certain rule that was in place back during the days of the SmackDown series WWE video games. According to Richards, he claims that there was a memo being passed around to the game developer that Triple H's in-game character model was not allowed to look weak, vulnerable, or be shown getting pinned in any promotional material for the video games, including commercials, ads, screenshots, gameplay, or anything else at all. Stevie Richards argued that it was a weird way to spend the company's time and resources on. But if you do look at it from WWE's perspective, it does kind of make sense to protect your top star's public image, especially since this was during the SmackDown video games era, where Triple H was even the cover star for one of those games, and was just a top star on the WWE roster in general. So it does not seem like that weird of a thing to do to protect the cover star image and portray them in a positive and strong light. Same sort of thing applies for other video sports games like NBA or NFL. Chances are you're going to see someone of that caliber of Michael Jordan doing something cool and dunking on someone rather than getting dunked on himself. So it definitely seems like a normal rollout rule to follow. There's no word on if these same sort of rules apply to WWE's current games, but you got to assume that they do, because you're probably not going to see someone like Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, or The Rock getting beat up and pinned in the game's trailers. So just an interesting note about WWE's video games. The talk surrounding NXT Halloween Havoc was with Stephanie Vaquer, and more specifically her face paint. Fans couldn't help but notice the similarity between Stephanie's face paint and Thunder Rosa's. The fan conversation surrounding the face paint really got intense with fans, wondering if it was a tribute, if it was different, all the way to some fans claiming that Thunder Rosa did not invent face paint, and how other people can use it without having anything to do with her. Things were getting pretty tense with the fans' conversation there, but it was Thunder Rosa herself who acknowledged Stephanie Vaquer's NXT face paint and cleared the air by sending out this tweet, quote, "Nothing beats getting some love from your friends in other promotions," end quote. So Thunder Rosa really helped to settle down the fans' big debate that was happening. Thunder Rosa was not offended by the similar face paint and was actually quite flattered by the act. As far as things go between Stephanie Vaquer and her tag team partner, Giulia, both women are still brand new to NXT, but already feel like they've taken it by the storm and are top stars in the entire women's division. Shawn Michaels says it can be explained by calling it the it factor. He says that both Stephanie and Giulia both have the it factor, and it's why they're shooting up their roster faster than anyone else has done before. So it's going to be very exciting to continue to watch both women's paths in NXT, and it'll be very exciting to see them eventually make it to the main roster and have even bigger moments over there as well. Jimmy and Jey Uso met up with each other again on the October 28th edition of Raw to once again clear the air on everything. Jimmy and Jey did have that big hug moment on SmackDown a few days prior, but this segment was about Jey just warning Jimmy and pumping the brakes just a bit, that their issues with each other are not completely gone and how there are several things that they still need to fix with each other, which was a nice little story addition because some fans were saying that the Usos reunion felt a bit quick and rushed, considering all the issues that were created between the both of them. So at least Jey is acknowledging here that he's still not fully forgiven his brother quite yet, and there's still many things to fix up between them two. Jey also planted his rules for dealing with Roman Reigns. Jey says that this time around, Jimmy and himself will not be henchmen and yes-men for Roman Reigns. Everyone will be treated fairly, and if that's ever not the case, then Jey is instantly out of there. So that's some great terms and conditions from Jey in regards to the OG Bloodline reunion. Jey's keeping everything on a short leash. He swears he will not even deal with one little situation of what he used to deal with in the Bloodline. The second he even gets a whiff of something feeling like the old days, he's getting out of there. So that's a message to both Roman and Jimmy. Don't try to get cute and use Jey in a wrong way. because he'll not hesitate to jump right out of the situation. The October 28th edition of Raw also introduced what many reports were claiming, and that's the introduction of Sami Zayn into the fold. The Usos ran into Sami backstage on Raw. Jay was cool and friendly towards Sami, while Jimmy was a bit hostile, since he never really fixed his issues with Sami Zayn. Sami requested to speak to Jay alone, and it was used to advise him to stay out of the entire Roman versus Solo situation. Sami asked Jay how he could get back to Roman Reigns after all the years of abuse, and how he should just really mind his business with his family's current issues. Jay told Sami that he does not understand the situation since he's not family, and left right after that. That was definitely Jay being a bit cold to Sami after their long-established friendship. But at the end of the day, Jay's right. Sami may be an OG Bloodline member, but he's not family. So maybe he doesn't quite understand what Jay is feeling and what's pushing him to do this. Jimmy decides that he wants to go talk to Sami, but by the time they find Sami, they sneak up and find him talking to Solo Sikoa in the parking lot, with the idea appearing that Solo was trying to recruit Sami before the Usos got to him. So the whole narrative of the night for Sami was that the Usos both kind of blew him off, but Solo Sikoa was surprisingly the warm one to him that was engaging and potentially recruiting. The story left off with this cliffhanger of Sami and Solo's conversation, with the heavy implication that Sami will join Solo's side. And sure, Sami is a babyface. It's hard to picture him turning his back on his friends. But when you look at the entire situation, and especially what Sami said to Jay earlier in the night, it does kind of make sense. Jay may have changed his viewpoint on Jimmy and Roman, but Sami Zayn has not changed where he stands at all. Sami remembers the mental and physical abuse from Roman Reigns that he went through. He saw how he even did Jimmy and Jay wrong, so that's why he's still so against Roman. So here comes Solo taking advantage of the situation and potentially asking Sami to join him, since he still hates Roman Reigns so much. Solo would be giving Sami a prime opportunity to once again get back at Roman Reigns, and even the Usos, for how they both sort of gave him the cold shoulder recently as well. So it was a very cool couple of backstage segments, because officially it confirmed the rumors. Sami Zayn has officially joined the Bloodline storyline once again, and it looks like Sami Zayn will now take over that role of being the hottest free agent in the Bloodline storyline. The Usos are trying to recruit him, Solo is trying to recruit him, so what side will he ultimately stand with? Maybe they keep the Sami and Solo teasers going for a bit, because it does make sense for Sami to at least entertain Solo's proposal. Sami is still very much anti-Roman, so the idea of joining Solo's side is actually pretty realistic on paper. But ultimately, in the end, Sami Zayn should align with the OG Bloodline, since that was his original home in this entire situation. And if Jay can put his 4 years of issues with Roman Reigns behind him, then surely Sami Zayn can bury the hatchet with Roman Reigns as well. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.